Okay, I'm extremely optimistic that this is going to be much better this time. But Kathy, you let me know. You're kind of on watch for me. Sorry if I'm moving around a little bit. I don't have a way to stabilize this. I have to hold it since I'm sitting in the middle of my living room rather than in my office. So again, I want to talk about the importance of the inner child. It is the part of us that is fresh from God, that is creative, that is joyful, that likes to play, that likes to connect and be in our loving. So the inner child, we can often experience a lot of wounds in our lives. Our internet access isn't working well. I keep getting distorted, so people are saying that no, it's not working, so I moved into our living room. So a way we can connect with our inner child is to do the left hand, right hand conversation. We can do the gestalt. We can sit in a chair and then sit in the other chair and ask them to talk to us. If that doesn't work, this is why I create guided meditations. It is a way of accessing a relationship with that part of ourselves and have them come forward and start to be in communication. To ask our inner child, what is it that you need from me to feel better? What is it you want from me so that you might be more comfortable, so that you know you are adored? So it's sort of like a mandala. If you think about a mandala, it's like kind of like a bullseye. If I sit in the center of the mandala with my inner child in my lap and I'm on God's lap, my life works. As soon as I forget one of these relationships or the other one, hi Norman, let me know if I'm coming in okay. I keep going offline a little bit and getting blurry, but I think I hit a setting that's going to make this work better. So, say for instance, I have a situation where I don't feel very good. Somebody's hurt my feelings. I can respond to them, and it becomes kind of like a tit for tat. But if I have the presence of mind to come back into myself and ask my inner child how they're doing, what do they need to feel better, I can show up in a more cognizant, whole, spiritually mature way. If I can take care of my inner child's needs, I can show up as an adult rather than a wounded child, trying to get their needs met or really behaving from that place of hurt. I think so many people have a prescription lens on that they're looking through in their lives. It isn't their real prescription. So if we have a lot of hurts and heartbreaks in our lives, it's sort of like we're fractured. Okay, very good. Thank you, Norman. And it's not clear. Life can be very, very confusing if we're not doing our own personal healing work. So an exercise I like to do every night before I go to bed, or you could do this in the morning as well, is ask yourself, who inside of me, what age inside of me really needs my current love and affection and attention right now? And for me, it's been interesting because sometimes it's my high school self, sometimes it's my 2-year-old self, sometimes it's a baby, sometimes it's myself of last year. So anytime we have a hurt, it's sort of like in the shaman terms, a part of us splinters off. What we want to do is bring all aspects of ourselves home. Bring love and compassion to the places that have experienced hurt and heartbreak. And tell them that you are with them, that you are listening, that you care for them. And often when this happens, we start to feel more centered and settled and peaceful inside of ourselves, so we can show up in a more peaceful, clear, and congruent fashion in our lives. So if you want to try this right now, just imagine, if you will, turning inward. Maybe you want to close your eyes and ask yourself, who inside of me, what age inside of me could most benefit from my current affection, attention, and love right now? And just get a sense of who that is. Is it your inner 4-year-old? Is it your inner 8-year-old? Who is it that wants your attention and affection? And then ask them, what is it you need from me right now so that you can feel better? What is it you want me to know? What is it you would like for me to do with you or for you so that we can become better friends? And if you get something, go ahead and type it in and let me know. What I find more often than anything is that the inner child simply wants to be paid attention to. They want to be listened to. They want to know that they matter. They want to know that you care and that you love them. So every day before I start my day, I check in with God and I ask him if he has a message for me. And I check in with my inner child and I ask her if she needs anything and what her intentions are for the day and how I can be supportive. And again, if I take care of these two relationships, my life works with a lot of joy, with a lot of grace, with a lot of ease. My inner child's why the horses are back in my life. The inner child is why I am getting back into my art and creativity. These two things bring me so much fulfillment on such a deep level. And if I wasn't aware of my inner child, I wouldn't have invited these things back into my life. So if we look at our childhood, we often get a glimpse of who we are and who we're supposed to be in our lives. Oh yes, the 6-step mourning process. I will be sharing that, but probably not today because that's another conversation. But yes, we need to start our day. It's still stopping? Oh my goodness. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Norman. But yes, we need to start our day by setting our intentions. And for me, that's always intending to be whole and congruent, to be on God's lap, my inner child to be on my lap, to take care of those two relationships. And if I go into doubt, I don't want to fight with the projection of the mirror in my life. I want to come back, talk to my inner child, and talk to God. As I do that, I feel more clear. I feel more present. I feel more whole. I like the saying Lao Tzu shared, be really whole and all things will come to you. We do this by virtue of calling all parts of ourselves home, bringing love and compassion to any memory or hurt that has happened. And I don't think it's necessary. You don't do that every day, Kathy? I think you should. If we don't, then we are fractured and we look to others to try to soothe us or help us. And we put more responsibility on other flawed human beings that are dealing with their own hurts and heartbreaks. And then it can make us go into self-doubt. And that is probably the most painful place to be of all, when we doubt the fact that we're lovable, when we feel less than who we were really created to be. And we can't allow other people to be responsible for making us feel that way within and for ourselves. That's really between us and our Creator. And again, I think loving on and caring for and being conscious conversation with the inner child. Again, if I take care of those two relationships, my life works with a lot of grace, ease, and joy. And as soon as I forget one or the other, it's not long before I'm off track and hurting. So I don't know if this is something that you can relate to or that makes sense to you. I write about it in my book, Manifesting Love from the Inside Out. It's chapter 6 with the inner child. And there's a lot of exercises to open up to that relationship. And also to be in relationship with our higher self and source. I have the guided meditations on my website, tammybphd.com. And I have my free ebook on there as well. You can get my book on there. And if you put in the code word true love, self-love, I'm sorry, not true love, self-love, I'm able to get that. And I will send you 3 guided meditations in the book for 50% off. My intention is really to help as many people as I can heal and become whole, to love themselves unconditionally, to be able to tap into their own inspiration and sense of importance and find their unique shape in the world. God created us to be different, all of us to be different. I say all the time, if God wanted us to be like Canadian geese, he could have created us that way, but he already did that. We are supposed to be unique. We are supposed to be special. And again, all of God's children are special. And none of God's children are special because we are all of the same stuff, star stuff. But each of us were created with unique and special gifts, talents, propensities, desires, ways of expressing, and things that bring our personal fulfillment. The inner child usually knows what that is. The inner child knows what brings them joy. We just need to be in conversation with them and relationship with them so they can inform us. You know, my creativity is all about my inner child. Sometimes she wants to do mandalas. Sometimes she wants to create cowboy hats. Sometimes she wants to create greeting cards. And I never know what's coming, but I'm in conversation with her. So she's able to inform me. And by virtue of being in that relationship and allowing her creative expression, I experience profound fulfillment. And nothing outside of me could bring me that state of joy or happiness. That has to come from within and being in relationship with our soul self and with our inner child. So again, all of us have experienced hurts. All of us have wounded inner children. But as we bring our current love and compassion to those memories and to those heartbreaks, we heal. And it's almost like being in relationship with an actual child, telling them that they are loved, that they are adored, that they are important, that they are special, to be in conversation and relationship and allow them to communicate. What is it they want or need? What do they need to hear from you? Sometimes my inner child wants to go have a frozen yogurt. Sometimes we want to go on a day date. Sometimes she wants to walk in nature and pick flowers. Nothing I used to do for myself before I was aware of her. What if the inner child seeks to destroy you? I've not experienced that, but I don't think the true inner child would ever do that. I think maybe there's a wounded aspect of you, Kent, that believes that you're unworthy of love. Does that resonate for you? The inner child is not the enemy, but perhaps a wounded inner child is flailing and seeking attention or rebelling in a way that is not loving or kind or for your highest good. So let me know what you think about that. It could be part of you that was hurt and is flailing, that is fighting back. And this does happen. Sometimes we end up with dueling intentions inside of ourselves, different aspects that fight within ourselves. And again, this is why we set the intention to become really whole, so that we are congruent. If you think about it, if there's a whole bunch of people in a kayak and they're not aware of each other and they all have different agendas about where they want to go, you're probably just going to spin and make a big mess. You want to work together as a team. You want everybody being aware of one another, working together as a team to accomplish our goals. Yes, Norman, that's exactly right. We heal our inner wounds as we listen to inner child and bring them the love and compassion that they deserved and desired as a child. So, Kent, you're saying you have a son who speaks to the inner child, is seeking to destroy him. Well, it sounds like he has definitely a lot of hurt and heartbreak that needs attention and compassion. And this is actually why I do what I do. It's hard to do this work all alone. I mean, I did write my book as a guide so people can do this for them within themselves, but it's also why I'm a counselor. I couldn't have gotten to the place of, I think, healed and wholeness all by myself. It took healers and teachers, and when I was really ready, those right healers and teachers came. Sometimes we need to be witnessed. Sometimes our hurt and heartbreak needs to be listened to by another, and then be reflected back to us that we are divine, that we are okay, that we are worthy of love. Sometimes it's really challenging to do this alone. We heal in community. We heal in relationship and relatedness. You know, years ago I really, really struggled and suffered and fantasized about suicide because I was in so much pain. And I don't think anybody really wants to commit suicide. They want to stop hurting. And I thought that was the only way I could stop hurting. But this is when I really started to meditate and listen to the still small voice within. And what I heard clearly, my higher self say, what God said to me was, if you can find your way through this, if you heal, you will be able to help heal others on their path. And that has become my greatest priority and intention, because life can hurt. This planet can certainly be hell, but it can also be heaven. And as we connect with the right teachers, Kent, that's a good question. How do you get your son to seek trusted counsel and guidance? All you can do is invite him and love him. We cannot, and this is unfortunate, we cannot rescue anyone. We cannot fix anyone. All we can do is take responsibility for our healing work. And as we do, we become the living example. We lead by example, and we become a bright light. Unfortunately, nobody can learn their life lessons vicariously through anyone else. We have to learn in our own way, in our own time. My sister tried to help me heal when I was really in that place of destructiveness and wanting to leave this life. And she couldn't. She couldn't do it for me. I had to do it for myself. But when I set that intention, I did find the right teachers. And then she went through a period where she was really struggling, and I wanted to save her. And if I could save anyone, it would be my little sister, who I've been best friends with since, I was 14 months, and she was born for over 50 years now. And I couldn't fix her or save her or heal her. In fact, she gave me a blessing and told me to go F off. And I thought, wow, I really need to go just back up and take care of myself. She found her way, and I'm so grateful. And I found my way, and I'm so grateful. But we can't do anyone else's healing work. All we can do is our own. And then again, lead by example. That's how we become a bright light and manifest from the inside out. So Kent, I really have great compassion for your son. And if you would like, give him my email address, tammybphd@gmail.com, or have him go onto my website and get my free ebook and guided meditation. And if he is open to the conversation, I would be honored to be in conversation with him, because I do know what it's like to want to destroy ourselves and feel unworthy and not at home on this planet. So if there's anything I can do, I will certainly be honored to. Be my pleasure and privilege, because that's why I'm here. It's what kept me breathing and walking on this path, was thinking that someday I could bring light and hope and heal others in my own way by being the living example. And I believe, hi Minerva, hi Letitia, I believe by each of you claiming your bright light and knowing that you are lovable despite what anyone has ever said to you. Oh yeah, I went through a lot of struggling. It was not fun to be me for many, many years. But as we claim our light and know that we are lovable and worthy, we brighten up and become a powerful presence in the world. We become candles in the darkness. And again, we can't do it for anyone, and no one can do it for ourselves. But as we invite love in, as we invite healing in, as we invite God in, as we invite this relationship with our inner child, and we become more congruent, life will make more sense for us. It's sort of like tilling our own garden. If our garden is not in good shape, and we're going around telling other people to weed their garden or to deadhead their flowers, it doesn't work. People don't want advice. It's a rare person that wants advice unless they ask for it. My friend Rolene Billings said that if they don't ask the question, they can't hear the answer. And that's been true. So I don't give my advice unless I'm asked. What I do is take care of my own garden. And then people go, wow, how did you grow that magnificent watermelon or that tomato? Why is your life working so well? And then I can share what I know about the path, because I have journeyed through quite a bit of, we'll say, interesting terrain. Yes, I will, Kent. I will messenger my contact information. And yeah, Norman, I know you're a bright light in the world too. And I know that each of you have struggled with your own hurts and heartbreaks. And I have great compassion for that, because it can be very painful to be on this planet. And we don't get to heaven without going through hell. And I know each of you have walked that path of hurt for yourself. So the most important thing I think you can do is tell your inner child, despite anything that has ever been said to you, anything that has ever happened to you, you were always perfect. You were always precious. You were always loved. And I love you. I love you unconditionally. That's what heals us. That's what helps us become whole, so that we can show up in a more clear and present and whole way in our lives. This is when life can start to make a lot more sense. We become more prosperous. We invite more loving relationships. we start to have a lot more fun and a deeper sense of fulfillment. And though we can see a lot of chaos on the planet, a lot of darkness, rather than fighting it or arguing about it, we have compassion for it. But we continue to take care of our garden. We stay on our side of the road. We care for ourselves. We create, we love, and we live in a really beautiful, unique way. And if others don't like us, we don't take on that hurt. We don't take on that projection of another, because nothing's ever personal. Everybody's projecting their reality all the time. The most important thing we can do is take care of our relationship with God, who loves us unconditionally, and love our inner child unconditionally. That's when we can start to really enjoy this experience. This is when we can start to experience heaven on earth. And every one of us deserves it. Every one of us is worthy of it. But we need to know it for and within ourselves. I love you unconditionally as well, Norman. I can tell you're a soul sibling for sure. And I know a lot of my friends that are on here right now, I do feel a lovely connection with each of you. A lot of my soul family, and I think I've used this term before. It's like being a spiritual rock climber. Like we're all climbing to the top of this mountain together, where we can experience a lot more grace, ease, joy, this refined energy of peace and comfort and fulfillment in heaven on earth. So I just want to thank all of you. I think I've gone on here for a very long time. I don't even know how long. And hopefully it's coming a bit more clear without that that blurry disconnection stuff. I think we've got this figured out for now. Hopefully I'll be in my office next week. It's kind of weird being on my couch, moving around here, but and it looks like I have this fun tiara on my head, this plant. My inner child thinks that's very funny. All right, sweet things. In closing, I just want to do a quick prayer guided meditation. So just go ahead and take a nice, deep, healing, cleansing breath, centering your awareness in your heart. And just now, Spirit, Father, Mother, God, Lord of all creation, we invite you in to our hearts, minds, and lives. We ask for blessings of healing, of wholeness, of prosperity, of clarity, of creativity, of fulfillment, and great love. May our inner child come forward right now. May we see them coming clearly into our mind's eye, and ask them right now, what is it you need to feel better? Do you know that you are important, that you are lovable, that you are precious, that you are adored? Set your intention to be friends with this exquisite, beautiful, adorable, perfect aspect of yourself. Let them know they are important and exquisite despite anything that's happened to them. And dear God, now I'm asking for a blessing for each of my friends here today, that their inner child starts to know that they're important, that they are special, that they are exquisite. May we receive love and compassion. May we apply that to the places inside that hurt. May we bring light and the healing balm of your love to all of our woundedness and become more peaceful, more present, and more whole. Guide us on the path you would have us walk for our highest good and the highest good of all concerned. Use our relationships to glorify you, dear God. Use our talents, gifts, propensities to bring more light into the world, to more love into our hearts, to more joy and prosperity to ourselves and to all the beings that are ready and open to receive these gifts. And I want to thank each of you for being a part of my life, the energy of my life. And please know that you're in my heart and in my prayers. And if there's anything I can do to support you, please be in touch. Private message me or go to tammybphd@gmail.com or tammybphd.com. Get my free ebook, my guided meditations, and I hope that we'll be in touch and continue to climb this mountain of love and life together. Know that you're in my heart and prayers. God bless you. Take very good care of yourself. Take care of your inner child. Take care of your connection to your heart, your higher self, and to Source. You're in my heart and prayers. God bless you. Onward and upward. Bye for now.